Hello everyone, my name is Matt and welcome back to this tutorial series on GRIAN'S mansion from Hermitcraft Season 7, where in today's episode we are continuing with our work on the upper room in the interior. As you may recall, in the last episode we built up this floor that you can see below us here, and in today's episode we're going to begin by putting in the pillars that go in these gaps. To begin this, we're going to take some polished Blackstone bricks, and around each of these holes we're going to build a ring of Blackstone bricks, or the polished Blackstone bricks I should say, going around each of the holes like this. Do this for all of the holes on both sides of the room. When you've done that, going down each side here you should have two 4x4 squares and a 5x4 rectangle, and these two either side of the door should be 3x4 rectangles. And just behind them here you should have a wee little gap just there which we can fill in with some basalt. Moving on with these pillars, at each of these two front corners of those two pillars by the door, and then at each of the corners of these pillars going down the side, we're going to place some polished Blackstone blocks. And then once we've done those, the bits in between them, we're going to put some regular Blackstone like that. Do these down the side like I'm doing here. And we're going to do this on these ones at the entrance like that as well. And at this point I messed up, because as you can see there is a good bit more built here than was in the last clip, and that is because I went on and recorded a bunch more clips for the tutorial, and I then realized that when we were getting onto this pattern, which we will get to in a wee bit, it was one block lower than where it should have been. And I was trying to work out why, and I realized it's because I missed out a section of these pillars. So I apologize if this seems confusing, but I'll do my best to explain what's going on. So first of all, when we build these pillars, once we've built these first two layers of blocks here, we need to do a layer of upside down Blackstone brick stairs going around all of them like this. Then once we've built all of those stairs around the bases of the 6 side pillars and the 2 pillars by the door, we can then start building up these pillars, which we will do in a minute. Now in these next few clips I'm going to be building these pillars without the stairs there, but just treat it as if we were building from the stairs as opposed to from these blocks here. Once you've done that with all of your pillars, you want to fill in the middle sections to them like I have here, so that we have something to build off of with the rest of our pillar. And I've just used these bright yellow blocks so that it's obvious which blocks are not really part of the actual build here. They're just blocks for me to build off of, like temporary blocks. Now for each of these pillars down the side here, this is on the left hand side as I'm looking into the mansion from the door, we're going to start on these front corners just here and build up 3 blocks of grey wool on the front corner of each of those 3 pillars, with then 2 blocks on this opposite corner and 1 block on each of these other corners. And on this central pillar we're going to put 1 block on each of those middle ones here, and we're now going to repeat this in mirror image over here. So for example, those are our front ones with 3 blocks, then 2 blocks in there and 1 block on each of those, and so on going down the line. And for these 2 pillars by the door here, what we're going to do is take some wool and build 2 blocks of our grey wool like that, and 2 blocks there, with 1 block of grey concrete powder around the rest of it like that. And now sticking with that grey concrete powder, on top of each of the bits of wool around the sides here, we're going to put 4 blocks of grey concrete powder on top of all of them like this. Do that for all these outside pillars, and then on these ones by the door, that wool, and then each of these pieces of concrete powder, and the same on this one. Each of those is getting 6 blocks of the grey concrete powder put on top of it. That should leave all of your pillars looking a little something like this. And now for the rest of the pillar, we're going to take some Cyan Terracotta and build each of these 6 side pillars up, so that from here to the top of it is a total of 12 blocks, and from here to the top of these ones by the door is going to be a total of 14 blocks, so they are 2 blocks higher at the door there. Once all those pillars are built up, for these 2 at the door here, we're going to connect them with a 2x2 cross piece of the Cyan Terracotta, just like this, going all the way across between them. Then for the pillars going down the side here, you're going to grab some stone stairs, place them in a square just like that on top of those. Then use a temporary block here that we can use to make sure that those stairs above them go upside down, and place them around the same way so you get a piece that looks like that. We're going to do the same thing on this one just here like that, and on the end over here, and then again we'll do the same thing on both of those with the upside down stairs and repeat it over on that side. Coming back to the door now, we're going to grab some basalt and we're going to put a line of basalt along the top of it just like that, and that should leave 4 blocks of the wood of the door still showing just there. Then I'm going to do a second line of basalt going across just above the first line like so. Then having done that, there's a cool little pattern that goes in this section which is made out of some warped stairs and sea lanterns. So with our warped stairs, we're going to place some upside down in that corner like that, and then one below it just like so. Then come around here, so on that block you can put an upside down stairs so that it looks like that with the sea lantern there. I'm going to do the same thing over on that side. For this next section then, we're placing some upside down warp stairs. Oops, I might need to actually break that sea lantern. In order to get it, you want them facing just like that, with one just there below it, and one, oops, just like that. And again, the same over here. So from here, we're placing some stairs upside down so they just touch that corner there, with some stairs there and some stairs just like that, and another sea lantern there, and again repeating that on this side over here. Next to this sea lantern, place some stairs just like that, upside down stairs above them, and upside down stairs just there. Then on top of these stairs here, we're going to place some stairs like that, and some upside down stairs like that. Repeat it over here. And finally, to finish this pattern off, we're going to connect this in the middle there with a warped slab, stick a sea lantern there, and one more warped slab below it, just like so, and that is that pattern completed. And now to finish off these side pillars for now, we're going to grab some dark oak signs and dark oak trapdoors. With the dark oak signs, we're going to leave one clear block of Cyan Terracotta at the top here. So on this block now, we're going to go around and place a ring of dark oak signs like so, all the way around it. And then on this middle pillar, we're going to do the same, except on this side here, in that central block, we're going to place a trapdoor instead of the signs, and then continue on around like so. And we're going to do the same here on this back pillar as we did on the front one. So that is all our pillars sorted for now, and we're now going to move on and do some of the walls in here. So to start off with, we're going to need some stripped warped wood to build up the start of these walls, and we're also going to need some temporary blocks to place them on because of the way we want the grain of this wood to be going. So when we place the wood, we're basically placing it just around the outside edge of all of this basalt going around here. But if we place it like just next to each other like that, you can see how the grain is going sideways. We want the grain to be going straight up, which means we want to be placing some temporary blocks underneath there so we can have it looking like that. Now I'm going to be using just the yellow blocks that I've been using before to make it obvious that these are just support blocks. But if you're doing this in survival, you probably want to use a cheap block like dirt or just anything really for this. So as I said, we're following this around the outside edge of the basalt, so there and so on. And we're following it around until we reach that block just there. So there is this one block of basalt sticking off the end. Once you get to there, we're going to leave this bit here as a gap, and then starting from just there, we're going to continue doing the same thing, just bring it around the outside edge of all of the basalt, all the way around the back here. You're going to come all the way around here to those two blocks, down there, and then when we get to that block just there, that is where we're going to stop, and we're going to then do the same going around this side. And once you've done all of that, for every piece of this stripped warped wood that we've placed, we're going to place some warped planks on top of it like that. And we're going to place some upside down warp stairs on top of all of those. We want these warp stairs to be continuous, so wherever there's a corner, we're going to make sure there's warp stairs connect around the corner, just like so. And any bits like this where you can see there's a gap inside there, we're just going to place some warped planks inside there to fill in those gaps. Once you've done that the whole way around, we're going to come back to this corner, count 1, 2, 3 blocks up on those stone bricks, and then on the fourth we're going to break them out like that, and we should find that that just nicely connects us up with where this balcony out here is. We're then going to keep breaking those like that until there's 4 blocks of that left at the top there. Then also just on this side, we currently have 2 blocks of the dark grey wall just there. We're going to add another 2 just like that, so that dark grey wall comes up to 1 block higher than those 2 bits of stone bricks there. Now building up this wall behind here, the same way as we followed the outside of the basalt for this section, we're now following the outside of the warped planks for this section. So we're going to come behind there and build up 3 blocks of the grey wall like that, and then 2 just there. Then build up 1 block behind those ones, then 2 blocks like that, and 3 blocks in this corner here. And moving around now to this section, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks in that corner there, then 4 blocks just there with 3 blocks next to it, and go down to 2 blocks just there, and another 3 blocks next to it just like that, and do 4 blocks and another 4 blocks, and then down to 2 blocks at the end here. And this little gap just down here we're going to fill in at the same level as this with a bit of the warped planks going back like that. We're going to switch now to some grey concrete powder and come back to the front over here, and on top of all those blocks of the grey wall that we've just placed, we're going to place 8 blocks of grey concrete powder. And coming back over here again, we now build 1, 2, 3 blocks of Cyan Terracotta on top of it, and then going across the rest, build up the Cyan Terracotta until it's all the same height as this. Now to complete this section coming across the top of that gap there's actually a bit of an archway that goes across here. So we're going to place 1 block of Cyan Terracotta on the side of that, with a temporary block behind it, and 2 blocks of Cyan Terracotta coming across. Oops. And then another temporary block behind it, and 2 more blocks coming across, and then a block of Cyan Terracotta on the side of that one there, so it all connects across like that. And to put this archway in now, build 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks down from that one, with 3 blocks from there, 2 blocks from each of those ones, with another 3 blocks down from that one, and 4 blocks from that, so that our archway will look like this. We can now move around to this back wall here, and first of all, just in here, we've got these. We're going to replace a couple of these grey concrete powder blocks with grey wool, so that we have this diagonal line going up like that, and just in here, build up 1 more pillar of grey wool like that, that continues that line. Then around here, build up 2 blocks of the grey wool like so, and we're going to do that 4 more times. So 2 blocks there, 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 and just there. Now for this next section, we're going to need a bunch of grey stained glass and light grey stained glass. Now in GRIAN'S actual mansion behind the window we're about to build, there's a farm here and same on the other side. But as I've said before, this series is about building the form of the mansion, not the function of it. So we're not actually going to be putting anything behind here just now. I'm just going to be building the window. We're going to take our grey stained glass first of all, and starting from this block just here, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks of grey stained glass, and then 5 just there, and 5 there, then 6 on this one, 7 on that one, 6 on that one, 5 on that one, 6 on this one, and last of all another 6 on that one, just that. We're now going to switch to our light grey stained glass, and again starting from over here, put 2 blocks just like that, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks there, 6 blocks on that one, 5 blocks on that one, 4 on that one, 5 on that one, 6 on that one, 1, 2, 3, 4 on that one, and last of all 2 on that one, just that. And we can now finish off this back section of wall by building up this grey wall just there to that height where it's halfway between those 2 blocks, just like that. Put in a couple of blocks of warped planks like that, with them behind it some more grey wool coming up just like this, and when we get to here, that basically wants to go up in a diagonal line like that. Then take some grey concrete powder, put 1 block of grey concrete powder along the top of that window like that, and then on top of all the rest of this, on top of these blocks of the grey wool and this block over here, we're going to build all of this up until it's the same height as this just here. Now that we've done that, there's just one last section of wall to do before we repeat everything we've just done in its mirror image over here, which is this little corner coming around here. So to start off with, we're going to build up 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks of grey wool like that, coming out like so. Then 3 blocks just there next to it, with 2 blocks and 2 blocks like so. We now switch to our concrete powder, build the concrete powder up here to 1 block below the level of this, and do that out to the front like so. And then basically a similar pattern to what we had here, build that one up to 1 block below that, and then build each of these 2 up to 1 block below once again. We can then use some Cyan Terracotta to build the rest of this up to the same height as that. And now one last bit on the side, place any solid block just there, so there are 3 blocks of the grey concrete powder above it. Place 1 block of grey concrete powder on top of it like that, and then build up the Cyan Terracotta to the same height, and from that Cyan Terracotta build it back into the wall behind, just like so. Now that looks a little bit strange, but everything below this point here, this gap, will be hidden by the bit that we're about to build here, so there's no point building anything down below it. So we're going to finish off this bit of wall here with a little bit of detail around the top. We're just going to leave 3 blocks clear at the top here. So on the 1, 2, 3, 4th block down here, we're going to build a bunch of dark oak signs going around like so. On this block here, it's the 3rd block in, we're going to use our trapdoor, with then a couple more signs and more signs coming around the edge like that. And that is now this side all done, and we need to repeat everything over onto this side. So when you have done all of that, this is what your room should be looking like. And the last thing we're going to do here before we move on and do the fireplace is we're going to give each of these windows a little windowsill by taking some dark oak slabs and putting them in front of each of the bits of glass like that, and make sure you do that for both of the windows. So now the last thing we're going to build in this episode is the fireplace that goes in here. So to start with, at the back of the room here, where our basalt from building the floor ends, we're going to build one back like that and connect them across the middle. And we're then going to continue with some temporary blocks or support blocks around like that, with some of our stripped warped wood on top of it, and make sure we do the same on this side over here as well. Grab some warped trapdoors and place them around the edge of that warped wood like so. Then go to some warped planks and place a layer of warped planks on top of the warped wood. We're then going back to our warped wood, go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 blocks just there, with another 7 blocks there and another 7 blocks there, and then take some warped stairs and place them upside down there and between those two, just like that. Around to the side here, leaving 2 blocks at the top there, place some warped stairs upside down like that, and the same on both of those. And we're going to place 3 blocks of the stripped warped wood on top of each of those stairs that we've just placed, with some more stairs upside down on that one, and again on both of those. We're then going to grab some warped slabs and place them in a 2x2 square like that, with 1 extra just there to fill in that wee gap. Now for this little bit down the middle here, we're going to come behind and with some basalt build 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks of basalt up like that, with a warped slab against the top one like so. And then on top of those warped slabs that we've just placed, we're going to place a diamond block like that. So sorry survival players, but we're going to place a diamond block there with another warped slab on top of it like so. And now this little section that we've just built over here, we're going to repeat a mirror image of it in this corner. So now that we have our 2 sides to this, we can do the actual fire area itself. So we're going back to our stripped warped wood now, and from here we're going back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks, which should just touch the back there. Do the same over here, and then bring that across until it connects up like that. And then this area here behind where the basalt is that makes the floor, we're going to fill that in with some Blackstone. Then go to your warped planks, do a layer of warped planks going around on top of the warped wood like so. Then go back to your warped wood, and on this block go 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks, and the same over on this side, 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks like so. From that 4th block of the warped wood that we've just placed there, build a cross with some basalt. Then go to your Blackstone and build up 3 blocks all the way across like this. With the exception of this very central block there, we're only going to do 2 blocks, and we want to place a sea lantern just in there like that. And now moving under and into the fireplace itself here, the rest of this going around here, we want to build up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks of that warped wood going all the way around like this. And with all of that warped wood put in, we can now close off the top of this fireplace by building across with basalt just like so. Now the fire itself is made up of a combination of burning soul soil and soul campfires. I'm going to build it from the back so that it doesn't become too difficult to see what I'm actually doing with all the smoke and fire around the place. So working from this back left corner here, we're going to build up 2 blocks of soul soil with a soul campfire on top. Then 2 blocks of soul soil and set that top one on fire. And 2 more blocks of soul soil with a campfire. Now leave this block clear. Then go 2 blocks of soul soil there and set on fire. Do 1 block with a campfire on top of it, and then 2 more blocks here and light that bit on fire. Then the next line, place 1 block of soul soil there with a campfire on top. Place 2 blocks and light the top one on fire. And then 1 block and light it on fire. And place a campfire just on the ground there with 2 blocks of soul soil like that, both of them on fire. And place 1 more block of soul soil just here and place a campfire on top of it. Moving forward again, we're going to place soul soil there and there. Put both of them on fire with a campfire in the middle. Place a block of soul soil there, but this time we're going to actually leave that one so that it isn't on fire. We're going to break that block of Blackstone, place soul soil instead, set it on fire, and place soul soil there with a campfire on top of it and a campfire just next to it, just there. And now finally for this front row, we're going to break both of those blocks, place them with soul soil, light them on fire, place a campfire there, soul soil just there, with 2 more campfires and 1 last bit of soul soil, like so. And there we go. Now that our fire is complete, we can take a bunch of anvils and we're going to run anvils just along the front like that to make a bit of a grate. Moving up from the fire now, we're going to go back to our stripped warped wood, Bring it across the top like so. Underneath each of these corners, place a warped slab with a warped trapdoor, just like that. And then we're going to grab some warped fence gates, place warped fence gates all along the front of that bit just there, and make sure that all of them are opened. We're going to some warped planks now. From this block here, build them out, and then around like that, and do the same on this side, leaving 3 blocks in the middle there. Build those planks back like that so they cover over those fence gates, and bring them in just like that. Go to some warped stairs, place warped stairs upside down just like so. And guys who are on survival, I'm so sorry about this, but we have a block of netherite just there. Now, to be honest, if you are doing this on survival, you'd probably get away with doing like maybe a polished blackstone or a chiseled blackstone block there if you don't want to waste a full block of netherite. We're going to grab some warped planks now, place it on each of these corners, and then go 2 blocks to each side just like so. 2 blocks there and 2 blocks there, and then place them on top of those stairs and across like that, with 1 up in the middle. And then if we go back to our trapdoors, place a trapdoor there and just there. We can now go back to our warped planks, and 1 block up and in, bring them around similarly to before, leaving that central block clear. Do the same on this side, so bring them around just like that. And then in that central block, we're going to place a sea lantern with a trapdoor on top of it. Next, place a sea lantern in each of these corners with a trapdoor on top of it, like so. Then go to your warped slabs, bring them out 2 like that, and around, oops, like so. And then bring them across as well, just like that. So this section here is 2 blocks wide. And it looks like I did this section here 1 block too low actually, because that grey concrete powder should just be showing here. So this section should be 3 blocks below the top of this as we've done, but the top of this section here should be 1 block above the top of this grey concrete. So I'm going to go ahead and just quickly move that up right now. Okay, now that that is sorted, we can continue with this fireplace, and we're almost finished with it. We're going to continue with these warped slabs, and 1 layer up from this, we're going to build them out and around just like so. And for this last section, we're going to start by placing a ring of any solid block, just temporary blocks, supporting blocks, to make this as easy as possible for us to build on. We're then going to go to our stripped warped wood and build up 2 blocks going around like so. Then on the front of those here, we're going to leave 2 blocks, change 1 of them for a sea lantern, leave another 2 blocks, change 1 for a sea lantern and another 2 blocks, and change 1 for a sea lantern. Then go to our warped trapdoors and go around the whole thing, putting up warped trapdoors around it just like I'm doing here. We're then going to place some upside down warped stairs around on top of all of that stripped warped wood. Now the last final bit here, we're going to have a couple of bits of basalt at either side like that, with then some blackstone. I need some blackstone running along in the middle like that, and again warped trapdoors the whole way around. And now the last thing of all that we're going to do, if you come around to the sides here, you'll see there's this little gap at the back of the fireplace here. So to fill this in, we're going to come in here, fill it in with a bit of grey wool up to the same level as this grey wool here, and then grey concrete powder the rest of the way up like that, with some warp planks at the top like so. And we're going to come around to this side and do the same thing. So there you have it, the next stage of this room is complete. And now I apologise that there were a couple of mistakes in this episode. I do try my best to avoid them, but with a build this large and complicated, they're going to slip in every now and then. And despite that, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, then hit the like button, leave me a comment and let me know what you thought, and subscribe if you haven't already so you don't miss any future videos from me. Until next time, I've been Matt, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye!